Good morning. I'm coming to you early this morning, and y'all know I'm fresh in the morning now. So I decided, I got about 40 minutes before my client comes in, but I decided to come to you all early this morning, and I wanted to address a question, a question that I got in my DM. And I'm going to leave that person anonymous, but it was all about what to do when you, and I just realized, hold on. Okay, y'all, excuse me. And then I put a ZOF. Okay, what if I make more money than the man I'm with? I apologize, okay? I think I was hurrying up. But what if I make more money than the man I'm with? That was the question. She said that she knows a lot of women who make a good amount of money. I'm talking millionaires. And they are with men that make less money than them. And so what is the dynamic there? And what should she be, concerned about or looking out for? And so here's what I'm going to say to that. The biggest part of this conversation will greatly depend on the woman. And unless the man is showing signs of insecurity in general, like there are men out there in the world that are insecure in general, right? It's not about money. It's not about status, or they're just insecure, right? They're insecure about all kinds of things. I've dated a man who was just incredibly insecure. And whether it was a dress I wore to church, or whether it was a trip I went on, or whether it was, going out with friends, whatever, it didn't matter. The food I ate, it did not matter. The man was insecure. So the first thing I would say to this question is you really need to vet this man for a level of confidence. It's going to take a very confident man, right? And I know men now. I've dated men since that relationship. Incredibly confident. And it's funny because they assumed that I made all this much more money than them, but that was never said. That was never spoken. We never talked about how much money we made, but it was just assumed because we were in very different fields that I was making more money than him. But again, I say to the woman, you've got to check yourself on this one. You've got to make sure that you are not carrying yourself in such a way so as to, feel a way about it for him, right? Women are notorious projectors. And they love to come into a situation and assume how a man is going to feel. And they don't know that. Like they just assume he's going to have a problem with it. You don't know that. You don't know that. A lot of it is you. You need to come into the situation, like it is what it is. This is my situation. I would also say, is it a spoken thing? Like I've never, since I was married, spoke to a man about how much money I made. Like I've never done that. So I hope that's not something that you're doing. I hope that's not something that you're sharing. Like that is truly for people getting married. That's for married folks. So if you're just dating, if you're even in a relationship, if that relationship is not engaged or married, that's called none of your business. It's none of your business how much money I make. It's none of your business what I own. It's none of your business what my credit is. But if you are pursuing me for marriage, if that is the intention, then sure, you have to have transparent conversations about things of that nature. But if that's not the case, no, sis, you should not be walking around telling everybody how much money you make, telling everybody about your bonuses. That's masculine behavior. Like men do that. So, I steer far away from that behavior. I am feminine. And so being the girl, there's a lot of times where I'll go out with men and they don't even know what I do. They don't know what I do. They don't know I work for myself. Again, those are all things that you can know once you're considering me for marriage and you have a ring. Like, that's called none of your business. right? And so if a man said to me, oh, well, what do you do for work? I'd say, well, I help people with their problems. Like, I kid y'all not. That's exactly what I have told many a man. And it's only until we're in a relationship that they're like, you're a therapist. And I'm like, yes. And you also create content online. Yes, that's it. But there are men out there that don't know I'm an author. There are men out there that don't know about my podcast. There are men out there that don't know about my speaking engagements and all the other things that I do, because it's irrelevant. It's irrelevant to the male-female dynamic of getting to know each other romantically. So ladies, this part is yours to own, which is, do not lead with your accomplishments. Do not lead with your degrees. Do not lead with your title. Do not lead with what you have. Do not lead with your money. So I have to check you all on this, because to me, if a man walks up to me and he is my type, he is exact physical type that I'm looking for. Oh, no. The only thing I'm worried about is being the girl of his dreams. All that other stuff it'll come later. But that's not how I'm interacting with him initially. I'm simply focused on being my sweetest self, being kind, like everything about me that makes me amazing to a man, that comes first. That comes first. So not what I do, not my accomplishments. All of that is cute, and that's usually what happens when a man finds out. And this is what's so interesting, y'all. Because I'm so mysterious, several men, they will be like, let me look up Anita. Like, I feel like I don't really know her. Like, let me Google her name. Let me look up Anita. That's how they find out. They don't even find out from me. Because like I said, what does that have to do with a man and a woman trying to get to know each other? What does that have to do with a man and a woman finding an initial attraction to each other and getting to know each other, getting to know if they're compatible? Is there chemistry there? Like, all these other things to me are more important than that. And so, no, do not lead with that. I have to get on the ladies about this. Because again, I think sometimes women ask this question because, can I be honest? It's a problem for you. Like, it's a problem for you. See, and you have to know yourself. At the end of the day, you have to know you. Like, guess what? I know me. And I know that for the most part, I do best with a man who out-earns me. See, I'm not afraid to say that. On no given day do I feel weird about saying that. I don't. I feel best. I feel most comfortable. I feel the most secure with a man who out-earns me. See, I have no problem saying that. I have no problem admitting that. Women are hypergamous by nature. I was raised by a long line of hypergamous women. My mother, my grandmother, they all married men who out-earned them. So that's kind of all I know. And that feels good to me. That feels comfortable to me. It lets me relax into my feminine. It lets me, stop all that projecting or thinking that it's something that it's not. Like, it just feels good. It just feels amazing. So you have to ask yourself, is it you that has the problem? Right? And she asked the question, what do I need to do, or what needs to happen on my end? How does that work in terms of, you don't have to do anything, but just don't lead with your money. Don't lead with your accomplishments. Don't talk about it. Like, in my mind, keep it to yourself. Keep it to yourself. Like, why would he ever know how much money you made unless you told him? And even if maybe he meets someone who's in your similar field or similar profession, and he's like, ooh, she's probably making a lot more money than me. Okay, well, that came from him. That came from him looking or snooping. That didn't come from you. None of this should come from you. None of this should come from you. And like I said, unless a man walks into this office, he's going to see my degrees on the wall. None of that comes from me. And he may ask me, oh, what school did you go to? And I'll say, oh, I went to Liberty University, or, oh, I went to VCU, or, oh, I went to an HBCU. It just depends. It depends on the guy, which school I say. But I don't list all of them. I don't list all of my degrees. Nope. It just depends. Depends on the situation I'm in. But A lot of it's us. We project this stuff out and then it comes bouncing back on us. All right. Can you speak on women who are in STEM fields and make six figures? And while there are lots of men in STEM, everyone is competing for them. So men who make six figures have less options. Here's the thing that I'm going to tell you. A man who's making six figures, a man who's in a profession that is time consuming, a man who's working hard in his profession does not want a woman working hard in that same profession. Like a doctor doesn't want another doctor. Can I be honest? That's rare. Because if you all get together and you have a family, like who's with the kids? Who's raising the children? And as much as women they don't like this and they don't want to accept this, the truth of the matter is, like I said, men and women are different. Men and women are different. And even the most, progressive modern man, deep down in his evolutionary programming, wants a woman to take on more of the child rearing. Wants a woman, believes a woman is nurturing. I mean, all of these things are true, so, but yeah, that's the first thing he's going to think. He's like, well, who's going to watch the children? Who's going to take care of the children? Who's going to raise and nurture the children? So most men in those professions, I married a doctor and I was a school teacher. See, and I promptly quit that job and stayed at home with my children. But no, he was not interested. And he was around female doctors all the time. He was around nurses all the time. And he was like, nope, this field is quite taxing. I don't want someone in this same field that's, has just as much pressure on them as me. No, I'm not interested. And see, this is what women just will not understand. You all believe in this power couple dynamic. No, men don't want that. Men don't want that. Jay-Z and Beyonce are the exception. Men don't want that. And even Beyonce took off 3 years. She took off 3 years to have her kids, to probably raise those kids and spend time with those kids. And Jay-Z's been kind of, he hasn't made music in longer than that. So yeah, you're not them. Like, just accept that you're not them. Okay. You're not them. Like, we're just regular folk, and this is just how it is. But yeah, there are going to be women competing for those men. Good morning. And I'm going to be frank with you. They don't want a woman in that same field. Everything you described comes after marriage. Before that comes dating and how women who make six figures have less options for dating. I actually disagree. It is not about you making six figures. It could be an intelligence factor. That's what I think it is. It could be, because I'm going to be honest, the more education a woman has, the more intelligent a woman is, yes, her options do go down. I don't think it's about money, because nobody would have a way to know that. Like, no one has any way to know how much money you make unless you tell them, right? And so we can assume a doctor is making XYZ. We can assume an attorney is making XYZ. We can assume an entrepreneur is making XYZ, but we still don't know that. I think what you're speaking to, which I do agree with, is intelligence. So once a woman is well traveled, she's cultured, she's, been out in the world, she's read books, she's, went out and spoke to people and learned different things. I believe women who are highly intelligent, they have less dating options, because the truth of the matter is, especially in 2022, men are not educated the way women are. Men are just, they're not. That's what the statistics are showing. That men are dropping out of college, men are not going to college, men are, in fields. And I mean, that's always been since the dawn of time. Men do more physical work. Men are in fields that, are more physically taxing, right? There are UPS drivers and FedEx drivers and postal workers and men who work at auto body shops. And I mean, that's just been since the dawn of time. There's nothing to me unusual about that. And the gap, now here's the thing I'm going to tell you, the gap was smaller and now the gap is bigger. Like, the gap is getting bigger. So that's what you're talking about. And I've met some amazing men. I've met some amazing postal worker men. I've met some amazing men who work on cars, who have, a license, they're licensed mechanics. I've met some amazing men who were nurses or firemen or police. Like, you just have to be open to that. And again, don't lead with your money. Don't lead with your education. I don't. And it's only when we're having conversation. It's only when I'm bringing up topics of interest. It's only when, from the things that we're talking about, that a man finally realizes, oh my God, Anita might be smarter than me. Like, that's when it dawns on him. And can I be honest with you? There have been men that have left me alone because of whether it's, this mental gymnastics, like, I'm not built for it. Like, I'm not built for this level of mental gymnastics. I need to come back down to my level that's comfortable for me. That I've had men tell me that, like, this level of mental gymnastics, this level of intelligence, I can't keep up. Like, they've actually told me that, like, nope, we're not a good fit. I can't keep up. You have an expectation of me that I just can't meet, and I've had men say that, and I've thanked them, like, okay, I don't feel any way about that. I don't beg them to try to get better. I don't beg them to do better. Either they want to do better, right? So I've also met men that they wanted to do better. Like, once they realized, oh, Juanita might be a little smarter than me, they upped their game. They were like, okay, she's sending me this video, let me watch it. She wants me to read this book, let me read it. Like those are the men that I'm always telling women about. Like, that's good. That's a good thing. And again, I'm not lording, my intelligence over anybody. I just am. I'm just who I am. I'm going to talk about what I talk about. I'm going to give my opinion about what I give my opinion about. And either a man, can meet me there or he can't. And again, it's never a lording over him. It's never a smarty pants. I think I know everything. It's just speaking on, what I know, what I've learned, what I've seen, and just being a wise person, right? So even if I was not formally educated, I consider myself to be wise. That can be, very daunting, right? Especially for people who've made the same dumb mistakes over and over and over. Like, I've met men and they've made a lot of dumb mistakes and a lot of the same mistakes over and over and over. And so they'll say, oh, I feel like, I'm way behind the curveball. I feel like I'm just light years behind you because of all the dumb mistakes I've made. Okay, they're not wrong. They're not wrong. And I haven't said that, but in my mind, I'm thinking you're not wrong. However, you'd have to play a mean game of catch up. Like, you'd have to play catch up. But if you've made a bunch of mistakes, if you made a bunch of mistakes with your money, if you made a bunch of mistakes in your career choices, okay, you're just going to have to play a mean game of catch up. And guess what? I'm like, okay, but if you can't do that, if you need me to come back instead of you coming forward, yeah, we're probably not a good fit. We're just probably not a good fit. That's okay. And guess what, y'all? I've never made a man feel bad about that. Like, I just don't. I'm not cut from that cloth. I believe that, there's somebody for everybody. There's a pot for, a lid for every pot. And I've never made men feel bad about how much money they earn or their level of intelligence, their level of education. Never. If they felt that way, it's definitely something that came from them. I can't do anything about that. I cannot manage your emotions. I cannot manage your expectations. However, all I can do is be me. And I am me. Y'all, I am me. Like, I finally leaned way in. I'm just me. I'm just who I am. I love me. I'm just going to be me, and I love me. And anybody that don't like it, we good. So, like I said earlier, it really is up to the woman as far as how she's carrying it. She's got to be mindful of projecting, because a lot of women do this. They project how a man is going to feel about something they got or something about them. Now, don't do that, because you don't know. Like, I don't go into it that way. I just wait. I just wait and see. Same with the level of intelligence. I just show up as me, and I wait and see, how that fits the person that's in front of me. That's it. But can it work? I have, they're more of the exception and not the rule. It's more of the exception and not the rule. I have seen women who make exponentially more money than their man. And the man is very evolved. He's a very evolved man. He's very confident. It's going to take a certain type of man, right, to be able to do that. But I have seen it happen. And, but I'm going to be real with you. I am hypergamous. For me, I do feel most comfortable with men that make more money than me. I do feel most comfortable with men who are solid earners. I myself am an entrepreneur, so I work for myself, and it is very much dependent on how hard I work, how many clients I see, all of that, right? And I actually would not marry another entrepreneur. I would not date another entrepreneur. All the men that I've been with, they work for other people. They work for companies. They have solid income. They bring in consistent, solid income. That's one of my requirements to be with a man. Because I am an entrepreneur and my income can kind of wax and wane. But a lot of this is you have to know yourself. You really got to know yourself. And if you feel a way about that man not making as much money as you, if you feel a way about him not providing the things that you can provide yourself, well, I don't know what to tell you. I'm going to say pass, but then a lot of y'all are going to say, well, we're never going to find nobody. It's only so many. You're right. You're right. That's the predicament we find ourselves in right now. It really is. It's a real thing. Men are not making as much money. Men are not as educated. And yeah, that pool of men that you want to pick from is small. So I don't have no solutions for that. Sorry, I really don't. But a lot of it is you. A lot of it is how you carry it. And vetting the man for confidence. He has to be incredibly confident. He has to feel good about what he's doing. He has to be passionate about what he's doing. You gotta check yourself, and then you've got to vet properly. That's it. I'm going back. Deep down inside, men want women without a career so that they can be the breadwinner, complete provider. No one but the tax preparer and mortgage loan person my mother doesn't know, because she gets jealous. Yeah. I mean, I do think that works best for a man's ego. And, I'm not mad about that. I'm not mad about that. I know deep down that most men, that's what makes them feel good. So just like hypergamy makes me feel good, a man being the breadwinner makes him feel good. Like, why would I have a problem with that? I don't, because I own my nature. This is so true. A man once told me I am too intelligent for him. Yeah, it happens. It happens. It's happened to me a few times. Reading first Proverbs each day makes you wise. There's one for every day. Yes. Proverbs is my favorite book of the Bible. And there, truly, y'all, if you're not a person of faith, okay, this is going to go right over your head. But as a person of faith, the Bible is your manual for life. It really is. And a lot of it is, there are going to be parables. There's going to be things in there that are not going to spell it out some of the ways that you all need to have it spelled out. But it really is. Like, if you just pick up a common English edition of the Bible, like, it's just going to tell you, do this, don't do that. Do this, do that, don't do that. That's it. And I am finally at an age where I'm living by those principles. Finally. Like, it took me 54 years to finally figure out, Anita, just do what the book say. And avoid what the book say. Like, that's it. Just do that. See, that's it. And so when some of these male influencers, they want to push back on, waiting and abstaining from sex until marriage. Oh, that's so antiquated. That's so outdated, this and that. But again, this book, this book is the most read book in the whole world. It's the most sold book in the whole world. Like the timeless wisdom in it. It's prophetic. This book is prophetic. So if I'm living by this book, like, in my mind, I can only do so bad, right? It's going to rain on the just and the unjust. Yeah, we all going to have problems. We all going to have bad stuff happen. But still, this book is a protection for me in my life. It can only go so bad if I'm, for the most part, doing what it's telling me to do. And I make mistakes. I don't do it perfectly. But yeah, that's what I've been telling people too. Read Proverbs. Do you believe you got to talk about money early on? Absolutely not. Because like I said, if you're not courting for marriage, If you're just getting to know this man romantically, all of that's called none of your business. I don't ask a man what he make. I barely ask a man what he do. Like I say, tell me a little bit about something you're passionate about. Are you passionate about the work that you do? Tell me about it. That's it. But if we're not courting for marriage, all of that's none of your business. I don't know why people feel like, just like sharing your abstinence journey, that's none of their business until they want to know, hey, I'm really interested in you. I really want to be with you. I really see myself with you. I see myself having a life with you, da-di-da-di-da. Like, that's called none of your business. I don't tell a man I'm abstaining. And hey, if you're a man and you're watching this live, okay, now you know I'm abstaining. I don't have any, I'm not ashamed about it. I don't have any hangups about saying it. But in terms of someone that I'm interested in romantically or like going out on a date, it's called none of his business. It's none of his business what I'm doing or not doing with my body. And I'm not doing anything with my body. Okay, so I'm not doing anything. I got to reiterate that for the folks out here that's like, ooh, but that's really none of his business. Now, and let me say this goes for you ladies who are doing something with your body. Now, if it goes there, if it gets more serious, if a man says to me, Anita, I'm really seriously thinking about being with you. I'm really looking for a wife. I'm really looking for someone I can spend my life with. Then I'm going to have a real conversation, and you need to as well. So, but this whole idea of, this just telling all y'all business, what happened to the mystery? What happened to, the demure mystery of a woman? Like, come on, we got to get back to that. You don't need to know all of that. And it's just like this whole conversation about body count. This body count conversation is ridiculous. It's ridiculous and it's tired. Okay? The reason being is because unless that man was inside of you and knew every man that you laid down with, there's absolutely no way for him to know that number. That's what I think is so ridiculous. It's a stupid conversation because I could sit here and tell a man, okay, I've had sex with 3 men in my life, right? He has no way to know if that's factual. The only thing he knows for sure is that I slept with my husband. I have 3 children by him. So clearly I slept with him. Any other man that I've been with, he has no way to know if I've slept with that man or not. And y'all, for the last 4 years, so the last year of my relationship, that I was in a relationship 3 years ago, the last year of it, I did not have sex with that person. And I have not had sex since. So again, I've dated a lot of men. I've been out on dates with a lot of men, and I've not had sex with any of them. I've not kissed any of them. Let's go there. Let me take y'all to a really crazy place. I've not kissed any of the men that I've dated. So come on, this body count conversation is ridiculous because a man truly has no way to know that. He really doesn't. Now, ladies, I'm going to tell y'all on the flip side, yes, I want you to mind your virtue. Okay. I do want you to mind your virtue, and that's for you. Because, sleeping with a whole bunch of men that you barely know, that you're not exclusive or committed with, or that you're not married to, that's going to have negative consequences for you. So that's why I'm asking you to not do that. No, don't do that. That's for you, though. I don't have nothing to do with them. Yes, it's a good thing in terms of, I do encourage that men date virtuous women. And there's a whole blueprint on how they can figure that out. I give them the entire blueprint on how they can know if a woman is virtuous, right? So be mindful, mind your virtue well, because that is a huge part of a man choosing you. Mind your virtue, okay? But this body count, that's so tired. I wish we could just get over it. And people, if the world would change if a woman's body count was tattooed on her forehead. Okay, that's the only way, because outside of that, y'all have no way to know. A man could ask you your body count and you can say 3, you can say 4, you can say 279, but he has no way to know that. There's no way to verify that information. So why have the conversation? Like, really? Okay, we'd be better having a conversation about income, because that to me is somewhat verifiable. All right. So what's a woman to do? Not work and not pay her bills in the hopes of a man coming to save her, or make herself smaller to get more options? Absolutely not. A woman is to go into a field of work that she enjoys, that she's passionate about. And however much money you make doing that is however much money you make doing that. Now, here's the thing that I will say. I don't like the idea of women going into fields just so they can make a lot of money. Like, I don't believe in that. I want to enjoy my work. I want to love what I do. That's number one, top of my list. I'm not interested in, I'm going to go into this field because I can make $500. No. I think that goes against the feminine, the feminine background of who we are. That I think it goes against our nature. So here's what I want women to do. I want women to pursue careers and work that they can feel good about, that they love doing and that they're passionate about, regardless of income. I think that's a better way to align yourself. But if you start going off into the weeds and getting into your masculine boy energy, well, I'm going to go into this field because I can make a whole lot of money. See, now you're in that masculine mindset. And that's what's turning the man off. That's what y'all don't realize. It's that mindset that's turning the man off, not the money. Not the money. If you are a doctor and you are passionate about saving lives and you are passionate about what you do, the man is just like, oh, look at the care and the love and the passion that she has for her patients. See, that's what y'all are missing. Okay? That's what y'all are missing. But if you're leading with, I went into this so I can make this and I got my bag and see, that's what's preceding you. That's what's getting you in trouble. And see, and most women don't realize that energy is on them. That energy precedes them when they're meeting men. That's what you got to check. So y'all might not have wanted to hear this conversation, but it's the truth. How do you lean into yourself? Like, how did you start to get to know yourself? Because I feel like a lot of decisions we make is due to not feeling secure in yourself and needing an outside thing. For sure. You just got to spend time with you. And you gotta, I've assessed myself to no end. I've taken all kind of personal assessments. And when I get the feedback, I'm like, yep, that's me. I just accept it. I just agree with it. I just love it. And even the bad stuff, even the stuff I know I need to work on, I'm like, I know I need to work on that. That's me right there. But go on a journey. Go on that self-love and self-knowledge journey. Go to a website called Truity.com. I want you to take every single assessment on that website. You can do it for free. Truity.com. Take those assessments for free. Get to know yourself. And then accept what you find. Like, stop trying to be something you're not. For years, I tried to be an extrovert. I'm not extroverted, y'all. I know I be on here talking and I'm not extroverted. I don't like people that much. Okay, I love y'all, but I don't like people that much. I'm introverted. But for years, I tried to be something I wasn't, and I wore myself out. Now I am a proud introvert. I love myself. Okay, and I don't like people that much. So, oh Lord, yeah, she said about the body count, the man's number. Oh Lord, y'all can't handle that. Y'all can't handle that. Y'all be like, oh no. How do you balance being in your feminine energy and also being ambitious and wanting to pursue side hustles for the sake of early retirement? This is a balancing act, just like you said. So there must be time carved out every day to return to that feminine core. And you've got to be real with yourself about why you're doing what you're doing, why you want to make the money that you're making. Because here's the thing I'm going to tell you. People love to say, oh, that's like the woman going to strip and saying, I'm stripping for my education. Like, really? Are you? And the person who tells me I'm working so hard right now so I can retire early. Will you retire early? like, probably not. Probably not. I think that gene is in you. That work hard, that hustle gene, it's in you. So let's not fool ourselves. Like, be real with yourself and really ask yourself, am I doing this to truly retire early and fall back into my feminine energy and do all the feminine things I want to do? Or is that just the makeup of who you are? Like, you have to get to know yourself and you have to be real with yourself. You are a hustler. If you're a hustler, you're a hustler. But let's not call it something else. Let's not be the stripper on the pole talking about, yeah, I'm doing this to get through college. No, you're not. No, you're not. Like, we got to be honest with ourselves. But balance is key. I work very hard. I also relax. I work about 3 days a week in my office. I do content maybe about 10 hours a week on top of that. And then outside of that, I am pursuing my hobbies, my interests. I am giving back to the community. I'm doing things for other people. I'm doing things for my children. I'm doing things that make me feel good, that make me feel, just amazing. I'm just doing amazing things with my life. So I don't need to do this flip reverse of, I'm just going to grind and work really hard. And then no, I can do that all along life. I really can. I can do that all along life. And if I meet a wonderful, amazing man, and that man comes along and wants to take care of me, I'm about to fall back, y'all. I'm about to fall way back. Okay, yes. It's Mimi. Let's see. It's Memesy, baby. Okay. Yes, Truity. TRUITY.com. I want all of you to go on that site. Take all of the assessments, get to know yourself, and believe it. I want you to believe it about yourself. Yeah, this is who I am. Lean into that. It's also going to give you some things on there about yourself that you need to work on. And start working on those things. I'm working on my things. I really am. Oh, she says, I hate working. I want to retire early so I don't have to work, but I'm single, so I have to take care of myself. For sure. But here's the thing. Your life is in progress, right? I'm not thinking about retiring early. I really am not. And to me, here's what I'm gonna be honest with you. In my spirit, this is what I'm feeling in my spirit. You don't enjoy what you do. If you're trying to work so hard and hustle so hard, that's telling me that you don't love what you do. I have no intention of retiring. I will be sitting in this chair right here, listening to people's problems until I die. I love what I do. I love being a therapist. I love helping people. I love being on here talking to y'all. I love creating content. I love creating reels and videos. I'm going to be 80 years old and y'all going to be like, old lady, sit down. I get them comments now at 54. Old lady, go and sit down somewhere. You old. You think this is bad. Wait till I'm 80 doing it. I love what I do. So that's why I say it's so important that we choose a career that we love so that we don't feel like, I just got to work, and retire early for them so I can do what I really want to do. I'm doing what I really want to do right now. And whether that's my work, whether that's my content creation, whether that's walking on the beach or swimming in the ocean, whether that's, hiking in the mountains, whatever that is doing, I'm doing that right now. My life is in progress right now. We have to realize that we're not going to, work so hard and then think we're going to lay back. No, I'm doing this all along the way, every minute, every hour, every year, every month, every day. I am doing something I love. I'm making good money doing it. And I'm also living a life that I love. That's why I think that's the feminine way when it comes to our work and our career. We have to choose something that we love. We can't be so focused on the money. We're in our masculine mind when we're doing that. Do what you love. Do what makes you feel alive. Do what makes you feel good and purposeful. And a man sees that. And here's what's crazy. This has happened to me. A man sees that and he comes along and is like, oh my gosh, I just want to take care of this woman. I just want to protect this woman. I just want to love this woman. I just want to provide for this woman. See, that's what y'all are missing. That's the part that y'all are missing. But you're out here trying so hard to make this bag and provide for yourself. And you're repelling a man who wants to do that. Okay, y'all done with me. So y'all done with me now. I done said that and y'all want to bury me. But it's the truth. It's the truth. It's the truth. Oh, the website for the personal assessment. So I shared a website so you can get to know yourself. You can take all of these personal assessments. You can get to know yourself. You can just breathe that in. You can learn to love yourself. It's called Truity. TRUITY.com. I want you all to go on that site. I want you to take all the assessments on that site and I want you to read through the results. You can screenshot the results, but I want you to start getting to know yourself just like you would get to know a man. There are men that I date, y'all. If we go on more than 3 or 4 dates, I send them to that website. I say, hey, can you take an assessment for me? And so there's a lot of reasons why I do this, but it's a huge red flag if the man says no. No, I don't want to do that. No, I'm like, I'm good. I'm going to be honest. I'm like, okay, I'm good. Like, that's the first thing. It's like a vetting tool of mine. So if the man doesn't want to do it or doesn't take it, I'm good. Because there's a level of, I don't want to grow. I don't want to learn about myself. And I don't want you to know about me. That it just doesn't work for me. That doesn't work for me in a romantic relationship. So I'm good. So if he says no, if he says, sure, I'll be willing to take it, and he takes it, then I get to know a little bit more information about him. And then he gets to know a little bit more information about him, and we talk about it. So that's a really good thing. Men who have gone on there and they've taken the assessments, and, that's a really good thing. And again, you all, I am a sapiosexual by nature. Like, if a man wants to turn me on, he has to do it here. That's what has to be turned on. That's what makes me want to rip a man's clothes off. Right? So if a man comes up to me, and this has happened, y'all, I'm going to be honest with y'all, this has happened. A man has come up to me and tried to get to know me, and he's like, hey, Anita, I'm just curious, what's your Myers-Briggs score? And I just want to rip his clothes off right then. I just want to give it to him. I'm just like, oh my God. Like, I just want to, y'all, I wish more men knew this. Men need to get on their intellectual game. Because there's women out here, fine women, that really, the way to turn them on is here. What's your Enneagram number? I just want to rip his clothes off. Like, I kid y'all not. Hey, Anita, have you heard of Jordan Peterson? There's this talk that Jordan Peterson gave. I just want to rip his clothes off right then and there. Right then and there. Oh, Lord. Okay, she said, what's the website again? TRUITY.com. Truity. And you're going to go there. You're going to take a bunch of assessments, and you're going to learn all about yourself. Okay, she says, yes, I love that too. Same. Like, these men that don't have no intellectual game, they get nowhere with me, y'all. They get nowhere. Like, and they be wondering, like, damn, I'm tall, I'm fine, I'm sexy. I got this, I got that. But if you can't do this, like, no. See, I'm grown now. When I was 22, I would fall for that mess. But now that I'm 54, I don't want nothing to do with you. You can have all this, you can have all this, all of that, the sex, all that, yeah, all that. But if you don't stimulate this, I can't do nothing with y'all. Can't do it. Cannot do it. So, and that's something that, again, I finally just breathed that in. I must have an intellectual man. I must have a well-read man. I must have a man that talks about concepts and ideas and, higher things. But if a man comes to me and he's like, yeah, I watch, these reality shows. I watch Love and Hip Hop. If that's all he know how to talk about, we good. I'm good. I can't do it. I can't do it. She says, I love picking their brain. We have to be able to talk about multiple topics. Yeah, for sure. All right, y'all. My client is here. I am headed into session. Thank you so much for joining me. I hope the client, the lady who asked me the question, that she gets to watch this video. If you came in on the end, please, watch the replay. I'm loading that now. This is all about women who make more money than the men they are dating or married to. So go back to the beginning. You may not like my response, but it is my response. So thank you so much for joining me. And as always, stay open to love.